Welcome to episode number 37 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of Jomboy Media. And I've caught Mets reliever Trevor May on his stopover tour. Where are you for like 24 hours?
In the beautiful Washington Ritz-Carlton.
Oh, It's not a vacation, right? This is a work.
Not a vacation. We're
trip.
not in Washington, D.C. for fun right now. We're playing one game, I believe. We have Jared Eichhoff on the mound tonight, and they have who knows. So it's going to be a lot. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of just fun for both bullpens today. Just determining what's going on and when we're going to be pitching. And it's nice and hot, so let's just throw that in there.
Yeah, it's always that's a steamy place, man.
Yes,
at the end of June,
yes,
steamy. So you go from here to Atlanta, and speaking of which, we'll be joined by Braves third baseman Austin Riley coming up in just a few minutes. So it's a little NL East get together.
Absolutely.
Once again here on the Chris Rose Rotation. But let's start with this. We're I guess a minute into the show. Should I pat you down and check you for foreign substances?
No, it's good. We've been cleared 3 times. 3 times I've pitched.
And how has that experience gone, Mr. May?
It's really depends on the umpire. The latest one was, hey, how long have you had this glove? I'm like, a year. He's like, all right. I think he's just like, hey, was any of this like sticky stuff that was wiped off? I'm like, at that point, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. And he's like, all right, well, have a good day. And I just, all right, left. And the first day they were like, hey, Trev, can you, because I was in the 9th too. So like, it was the last guy of the day, and they've checked like 11 times at that point, everybody. So he's like, hey, can you turn out your belt? I'm like, sure. And he goes, glove and hat. He goes, you're good. I'm like, thanks, man. He's like, you're welcome. I'm like, all right, let's walk this one up and get this over with. He's like, absolutely. That sounds great. I believe we did. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's been pretty painless. Pretty painless. I haven't felt the need to make a point and throw a fit yet.
How nor should you. It's not who you are, I don't think.
It's not. I'm not very dramatic. I do get angry though.
How are the umpires with the whole thing? Do they look like they're pissed off?
I wouldn't say they look like they're pissed off. I would just say, they're any job that just like gets something kind of just like, hey, by the way, this is now part of your job description, and you're still paid the same. You know what I mean? They're like, here's another thing for you to worry about. There's going to be a little bit of like, and also it's probably going to make games slightly longer, and also going to be just kind of a headache to remember to do all the time. Another responsibility of yours to be the bad guy, especially. It's just, I get it from the human standpoint that some of the guys are just kind of like, we're probably not going to find anything. I don't really want to find anything because then it's going to be a big thing. So that's generally kind of what I see. There is going to be times I think, just based on that same, if we accept that premise, that they're just like, that there's going to be guys that just want to find something someday, or are not happy or not in a good mood for whatever reason, or whatever. And it's not going to be great, but we already saw a manager exercise their new power, even though they've had that power the whole time. But now the stigma has been removed from it a little bit, or they tried to remove the stigma and it was used immediately. By
the way, I think that should go by the wayside now. I think now that there's mandatory checks, that managers should not be allowed to do this now.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, that was one of the things that came down from the top that was really like not subtle. And hey, we're going to try to turn people against other people. Was saying, hey, we're encouraging managers to do it, and also we're taking video from other teams after the fact. And you're just like,
wait, what does that mean? I don't understand that.
Well, they're like, we're taking input from hitters. They said that. So like, basically what they're not so subtly saying is, hey, we're encouraging people to rat other people, players to rat other players out, even after the fact. And we'll take that into consideration. And I'm just like, that's super interesting that would be encouraged. That seems to have certain value to the commissioner's office, that doesn't have anything to do with sticky stuff. And
so you're saying that they're trying to pit player versus player.
It's a benefit.
Once again,
it's a side benefit. Yes.
To benefit
just
the
like
other
in
side
COVID,
during negotiations.
just like in COVID, and just like during the Astros thing, it was very much like, let me see if I can deflect this black eye away from the game, from the organization, the MLB, and see if I can get the players to take some of the responsibility for this fiasco. And that's kind of I like to think there's lots of plays in the playbook, but there's only one, and that's the same play they keep running over and over and over and over and over again. So, yeah, I think that's a side benefit of this, the way this was handled. And this is why that in general was handled in the middle of the season, why it's happening now, and as opposed to the more responsible probably time for health and for just in general figuring it out and having an actual solution it later or at the end of the season or in the off season, which was the first plan, but the black eye started to happen. So then you have to handle it a different way. That's why it's being handled like this.
So one of our brothers here at the Chris Rose rotation, Tyler Glasnow, made major headlines by saying that he had to change how he did business. He admitted that he used sunscreen and rosin. He said, I don't have any reason to hide because 90% of the pitchers, if not more, were doing something like that.
Yeah.
And so he had to adjust, and now he is injured. He feels in part because of that. He doesn't blame it entirely on it, but he said because of the adjustments he's had to make. Have you had to make adjustments?
To be honest, I don't. I said this experimentation was there. Obviously, everyone's like, hey, you can make your stuff better, and there's going to be no consequences for it. And everyone's like, okay, I'll try stuff. So throwing a pit over the last like 4 years, probably just like even coming off Tommy John, a bunch of guys in AAA were like, sunscreen and rosin. Have you ever tried it? Like, no, I'm usually just whatever. The balls were different that year in AAA in 2018 before they went 19, where all the big league balls were used in AAA. So like minor league balls were different than big league balls at that time. Minor league balls had bigger seams and all kinds of stuff. So you didn't really have to worry about it. So I hadn't thrown a big league ball in a while. So it's like, I need to feel comfortable because my arm's not that back yet either. So like, I want to compete. Like I just need to compete. So I've tried, to be honest, didn't even know what Spider Tack, the brand or whatever the hell was, it's like the stuff from Little Giants when they can't separate their hands. And it got to the point where I was like, did I try hard enough to cheat? Like, I should have really went in. I should have went full chemist. Like if that's what was going on, I didn't know. And so making the adjustment for me has been very, very minimal, if anything, because it's just like, especially because it's hot now. What I would do in hot weather is literally just like rosin, try to get my hands to like weightlifter hands, like super dry, so I can throw and I can feel like it's dry. And then I'm adding moisture. So I'm not adding drying to reduce moisture during the game. I'm doing the other opposite, because you can control the amount of moisture. You cannot control how dry your hands are without going to the rosin bag constantly. And then past a certain point, diminishing returns because you have so much rosin in your hand already. So you're just getting paste. And so you think about these things. You're like, okay, today it's 90. I sweat a lot. How am I gonna make it so the ball? So you're out there like battling the ball, and then you're like, okay, Austin Riley's in the, like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope I don't throw this right. So that's kind of where a lot of guys went, and especially with Tyler, that guy's got torque, like crazy torque to throw the way he does, as hard as he does, with as much spin on his breaking ball. And for him to have to think about it, like he's like, okay, well, I still got to compete. Like I can't just go out there and just fall apart. So gripping the ball tighter to make sure it's going where it was and focusing more on trying to get it where it was. That all probably factored in a little bit, and that sucks. And I feel for him. But again, I think he said this in these words. It's just like, it's an injury, man. Like there's just no one's ever like, this is exactly what happened, right? You can't really do that with arm injuries. But in my mind, I know I was thinking this thing, and then this happened. So,
right.
We will be back to the Chris Rose rotation right after this message from Cushy Dreams. You're wondering why the Papito Gordito is here talking to you about Cushy Dreams. That's because Papi uses it. I'll be honest with you guys. A little Cushy Dreams, if it's the end of the day and I'm trying to relax, RELAX, remember that? I use Cushy Dreams. Relax. Puts me to sleep, knocks me out. Too many thoughts up here. Baseball, life, all of it. It's scary. You got to relax. If that's your thing, go try it out. They got the pre-roll. It looks like Kush if you order it in the can there. Get yourself a gram. looks like weed. If you want to trick a cop, we don't recommend that here at Jomboy Media. I'll be honest with you. And hey, if you're not a relaxed person, they got other stuff too. The Create, I'm all about that. They've got whatever you're looking for. They have it at Cushy Dreams. If you haven't tried CBD, you've got to try it. It could be good for your sore joints. It could help you open up your mind a little bit. It can go different ways. And guess what? It's legal in all 50 states. CushyDreams.com. Promo code ROSE, 20% off. 20% off your next order. Doesn't have to be your first. Doesn't have to be your last. 20% off your next order of Cushy Dreams with promo code ROSE at checkout. Go check them out. Honestly, they've kind of been a ride or die with Jomboy Media. It's a really good product. We've had so many people reach back out and say that they loved it. Go check out Cushy Dreams. Promo code ROSE, 20% off. Back to the show.
So we have finally had a pitcher get tagged. I believe Hector Santiago was a teammate of yours.
He was.
And I don't know how into it you got. And once again, we're taping this on the day after this happened, so we don't know if he's going to get penalized 10 games or not at this point. He said it was rosin and sweat that built up on his glove, and he had been checked a couple of times previously in the game. And so now they not only eject him, they confiscate the glove. They put it in some sort of bag that I use in my recycling. And now the league office is going to look at this thing and they have to decide whether or not the Mariners play with a man down for the next 10 games. Is this problematic in your opinion?
Very. And he seems genuinely like surprised. Like I wasn't caught doing anything. Like I genuinely don't know why you think that's something, because it shows the inning too. He's like, it's hot. It's Chicago in the, end of June. And he is caking rosin on his arms because he's sweating so much, and he's supposed to throw 4 innings. It's like what he does. He throws 4 every time. So he's like it's hot, and he's using rosin. I guess a bunch of it got on the base of his glove, and then he's like, "Really? You saw me do this? You watched me? Like I don't know what to tell you." And he's just like, "I cannot believe I just got tossed." And I'm gonna be honest, the home plate umpire was like, he goes, "It's kind of a lot, man. Like it's what they told me. Like I can't let it slide." So he's like, "I guess I throw you out." And he gave a shrug, and then he's like, "Really? I might get suspended for this." And he's like, and then he goes over and he's like, "Hey, what do we do with this?" And the guy's like, "I can get a bag." And then he goes and gets a bag. So if they play with a man down, I'm gonna be honest right now. Our bullpen has thrown quite a bit recently, so I can't imagine losing a guy right now. I cannot imagine it. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. And so if you lose a guy in the bullpen for 10 days, that could have lasting consequences for the rest of your season. And so I really hope that it's more of like a false flag. I don't know if they're sending it to a lab or, CSI Miami's going to handle it or whatever. But it seems silly, but it also looks silly. I'm just like, I'm trying to focus on things I can control, and I cannot control this. So,
Trevor, it's like when we were growing up and we would play games in the backyard, and you just continue to change the rules depending on the situation.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest problem I have with this. When you are fucking with players' health, I have we're laughing, we're joking about it. I'm not going to say it's going to cost somebody a career, because I don't know. I don't want to go that far. But you're putting some people in a jeopardized situation when you're telling them to play a man down in a season where guys are dropping left and right.
Yeah,
I just think
we don't know the lasting consequences of the COVID season right now. A lot of soft tissue. There's a crazy correlation. Okay, hold on, let me take a step back from that. There's been like general rumblings that there might be correlation between guys who tested positive or contracted it like in no symptoms a year ago or whatever, and like getting some sort of soft tissue, like their tissue isn't bouncing back like it was, and that though that there's no scientific evidence for that at this point, because it's going to take a long time to do that, figure that out. It's a weird coincidence that we had a shortened season and there was a virus involved that there's been a little bit of evidence that it might affect certain immune or inflammatory responses. And we are an inflammatory sport. Like, we're just fighting inflammation all the time. So all that plus, everyone getting hurt and then losing a guy, it just when you feel you're out of control, like everything's out of your control, and that you have to baseball's very much just wear it, just figure out a way. We're very much, that's built into our DNA, right? But there's only so far you can take that. And I feel like the Mets, our team we've done that better than anybody. Figure out a way to win the game, guys. And I've been in the bullpen, been like, who's up today? We got 3 of 8 available. Figure it out. Hopefully we don't have to cover that many innings, right? Because we've been trying to be really good at giving a guy rest and kind of rotating it around and make sure we're using everyone so that we keep guys as fresh as possible. But yeah, it's really frustrating when you think about it. And kind of where we thought it was going to go and then where it ended up going. It's not surprising at all. Still insanely frustrating, but trying to stay locked in on okay, here's the things I can control. How can I best do this? Is really hard right now.
Can we have some fun right now?
Yeah.
I've loved your vlogs. I've seen all 3 of them. They're really good. Here's part of episode number 2, and I laughed. Here we go.
Jake, hate to break it to you, but you're in it now.
Got him.
Oh, you're going in the title, Jake. Oh, I gotta do one thing though. If you look up there, you can just see where Freddie's homer hit last night.
It was deep.
All right. Literally have a mat like I'm in kindergarten.
You hear the guy just doing monkey sound in the background. Hey, how I filmed that is really funny too.
What do you got?
I turned it on and laid down, and then got up really quick and turned it off. So I didn't even record. So the guy needed to cut the end. The editor did.
Did you nap at all? There's no way you could have napped where you were.
I put earplugs in and noise canceling headphones over them, and then the app I use to track my sleep plays white noise. So it's like I'm in a jet engine and I can't hear anything. You can still hear people talking if they're right. And there was that was still during COVID time. So we had the concourse was partially ours, were the tunnel underneath, right, where a lot of employees are. And there's 4 employees sitting on a cart just talking 5 feet from me. But that was their space and this is my space. And this is just the only place I had to sleep. So I was sometimes it just turns into a 15-minute meditation session where I'm not actually asleep, but it's good to get your heart rate down and just rest for a bit, especially when it's super hot outside. Because I'm kind of a high stress guy that kind of will have an elevated heart rate all day if I don't relax for a bit.
I think my favorite part of the episode was where you took the camera out in public for the first time and you realized that you hadn't really charged the battery on it and it died.
Carried it around.
And you said the only thing worse than being the guy who has a camera and is filming out in public is being the guy who has a dead camera and not being able to film out in public.
Yeah, just carried it around. I was okay,
creeper.
What's this guy doing? Where's he going with that? Yeah, it's funny.
Do you plan anything for your episodes or do you just roll with it?
I'm starting to plan a lot more. We have in the 4th one I got a lapel mic and I got Pete Alonso mic'd up for his whole pregame routine, which is hilarious. And I put out a little teaser video of some of the moments. One's him diving for a ground ball during ground balls and just scraping the mic on the ground, but missing it. Oh, so funny. He's a funny dude.
He is funny.
And but yeah, I've actually started storyboarding a little bit and starting to build stories. My wife is she's coming. She's hey, let's start thinking about your content in a structured way. And because you make so many things and let's tell really good stories. Man, what did I do without you? And the thing was I was just super disorganized and just letting balls drop left, right, left, center. But So yeah, so we've been working on. We got some fun stuff coming up. Coming up.
Good. It sounds great. I would say that Jacob deGrom would be pissed that you misspelled his name because it was all in caps and not small d.
I didn't do the editing. But he put all caps.
Ultimately your name's on the product, sir.
At the end of the day, you have to do all caps so that people can see it. That's like a editing trick. So that's why we do that. But again, yeah, it's something Jake would get mad about 100%. He would totally notice that.
Do we know? My son asked the question the other day. He goes, "Dad, why is it small d at the beginning of deGrom?" I said, "I don't know." Yeah, but still, that doesn't make any sense. Just because he's French.
French people are weird. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh boy, no. Hey, for all you French listeners out there, that is not accurate.
There's only like 200 million of them. It's fine.
Have you been to France?
I have been to France. I've been to Nice and Paris, and that's it. Nice and Paris.
Oh, I can't wait till you get there's a category on the wheel of moderately interesting things called tripping, which is where you're going on your next trip.
We're going to get it this time.
We'll see.
100%.
We'll spin it with Austin Riley. So we'll see. Hopefully that happens. But if it doesn't, I'm sure it'll be another moderately interesting category.
Yeah.
So we'll see. There we go. Austin Riley of the Atlanta Braves is standing by. We continue on with the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of Jomboy Media, as we welcome in yet another player from the National League East. I feel like that's what we are. We're like the National League East network almost. Austin Riley of the Atlanta Braves. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm doing great. Got off day today, so that's nice. Coming off a long road stand, so can't complain. Happy to be on the show.
Okay, well, be honest with us. Is your wife pissed off? Like she hasn't seen you in forever, and now you got a day off, and she's like, "Really? You get to talk to those two dorks?" No,
because I played golf last off day, so I'm at least I'm in house, so that's a good thing. So I'm not in too much trouble.
Hey, Trevor, I want you and Austin to chime in since you are both happily married men. How do you handle the whole off day thing with your spouse when you've been on a long road trip?
Oh, that's very relevant to me currently. My wife recently actually stopped working too, so she's home like a lot, and I'm never home. And so this last off day, Thursday, which is going to be our last off day for like, I don't know, 3 months, was like I had some work to do. I had my own podcast to record. I streamed for a little bit. We had like 4 or 5 meetings because she has come on and helped me do a lot of the things I do off the field. And then we looked at each other at night. We're like, have we just hung out at all? So we had to block time. Like I cooked some steaks terribly on the grill for the first time in years. And we hung out with our cats, but we're like, maybe we should take a whole day.
Right.
And just like, I don't know, we live in New York City. Like, let's go like to an amazing 5-star restaurant or something. I don't know. There's like lots of stuff to do. Almost some would argue the most stuff to do of any city. So, but it's a new transition we're making, trying to pair, maybe shave down the number of things I schedule for one day where I don't have to go to the field and just kind of wing it. I don't know. We'll see.
Austin?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with them. You get kind of caught up in, it's like, especially me being in Atlanta, I'm not far from home. So it's like every homestand, I got family, friends. It's like the whole homestand is booked up pretty much. So whenever I get an off day at home, it's typically we're hanging out, whether it's by the pool or whatnot. We're just, even if we're just sitting in our room watching Friends. I love Friends, so I watch Friends, even if we're just doing that. So, but on the road, I'll play golf some, just because, like I said, I ain't got nothing else to do. But other than that, yeah, you're definitely trying to make as much time up, for being gone. And she's in a bunch of weddings this off season, so she's going home. So it's like I feel like we are back to the dating stages right now of we're like we see each other maybe a week out of the month. So it's an adjustment, but it's all good. It's all good.
So wait a second. Did you say you were a friend? You binge watch Friends?
Yes, a lot.
Okay. Did you? Because Trevor May did not watch. He watched like one scene from the reunion show. Did you watch the reunion show?
Oh yeah, I definitely did. It was solid. I enjoyed it. Do you watch
May? You're missing out, dude. I told you last time.
What did I just say? Did I say I have time to watch the damn Friends reunion? Like, where am I putting that in? I just said I grilled for the first time in 10 years. Like, dude, watch the Friends reunion, man. Make time.
You can't watch it on a flight. You can't stream it somewhere
right.
in the air.
I was watching The Sopranos on the flight yesterday, just rewatching that. So I guess I could watch Friends reunion.
Nice, Riley. That's impressive, Austin. I don't have you pegged as a Friends guy.
I've watched it all seasons a lot, so I can pretty much quote everything from it. So, not that I'm going to here, but I'm just saying, like, it's just background, like it's always on at the house, whenever it's always on.
Well, I got to admit, first of all, since we're basically in the same age bracket, I've always had a thing for Jennifer Aniston. I know, Rose, get in line. But my wife was like, yeah, go for it. If you ever meet her, she will laugh in your face. Like, go, just go for it.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt. Same
right?
what Anna says. So it's like, take a shot.
Why are you an Aniston one?
Yeah, not. I wouldn't mind it.
But there you go. What are you laughing at, Trev?
No, just how you asked her. I think Aniston too. Like as if it's a big secret. Like I'm an Aniston guy too. Obviously, what you
I think everyone is.
Yeah, she was number one for a decade for everybody.
Easily. Still, listen, are you kidding me? She still looks great.
Yeah, she's still
No
good.
doubt.
Have you seen was it Good Morning is it Good Morning America?
The morning show.
The morning show.
Excellent.
Great in that. Yeah. It's great in that.
Excellent. That's coming out. Yeah. Austin, that should be next up on your binge watching.
Okay.
The morning show.
The morning show will do.
With Jennifer Aniston and Steve
Reese
Carell.
Witherspoon. And Reese Witherspoon's in it.
Reese Witherspoon. Excellent stuff.
Good combo.
See? So this is, I think, the closest you guys have gotten to each other. I think other than that, the closest you've gotten is 60 feet, 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor, you did have a chance to pitch to Austin earlier this year. How did that go?
Well, I hadn't given him a homer in a while, so I'm glad we got that out of the way. And the floodgates pretty much open from there. So I'm pretty sure Freddie got me the next day too. So fastball right down the middle. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. I'll never forget it. I'm in his book, as I say.
There you go. I mean, I was lucky enough to get on fast. Yeah, it happens. I'm sure I'm gonna face him quite a bit more times, and he's gonna punch my ticket. So I'm not gonna get too high right now.
You know what? That's what I say to myself. I'm like, you know what? I'll get him.
Exactly.
We're in the same division. I'm here for another year. I mean, there's a good chance we're gonna face each other again.
I'm
especially if you're in the middle of that lineup.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
So,
we'll have a lot of battles, but 1-0.
1-0.
All right. So
next time.
You also have another New York Mets pitcher in your book, at least one other one, in Jacob deGrom. You got him your rookie year. So please tell me, when you take one of the best in baseball, where you took him, that you're probably running around the bases going, okay, that was pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I mean, at that point in my career, I was just, you're facing Jacob deGrom. It's one of those things where it's like, if he punches you, you expect it. So it's like, if lucky enough, I ended up getting him. But I'm pretty sure that's the only hit I've had off him since. We faced him, earlier in the road stand. I'm pretty sure we see him again here in a couple of days. I was just lucky enough this year that we missed him so many times before up until now, because he's unreal. He's nasty. It's unfair.
Is he different than other pitchers you faced? And if so, what is it that separates him from the rest of the pack right now?
To me, it's like one of those things. It's like, where he's going. He's going to the outer third part of the plate. And he's going to be throwing that fastball slider. And you can't do anything with it. Even if you're on time with a fastball or slider, it's just, I don't know. It's just stuff. His stuff is electric. And I mean, everybody knows that. And I tell guys, it's like, it's an easy at bat because you know where it's going, but at the same time, it's so hard because you, like I said, you get so frustrated because you know where it's going and you still can't put a barrel to it. And I mean, it's just one of those things.
Trevor, what is it like watching him? I know we talked a lot about him, but like the other day, he had quote unquote his worst start of the season.
He gave up
two runs in 6 innings. It was the first time all year he gave up more than a run.
Yeah. It's who asked? We were walking to the pen after his start, walking it back to the clubhouse after a game in San Diego, and Craig Stammen was like, "Hey, so you guys just like, I don't know, just like take the day off when Jake starts?" Or, and then I was like, I laughed. I was like, ha, we hope, because every time we come in after him, we're trying to find out the stat, like what the ERA is in the inning directly after Jake comes out, and we think it's really freaking high because we've talked about this. All of our stuff looks terrible compared to his, even with our pen. But yeah, it's like he's got the best stuff. He's got better, like, our best setup guy is Jake deGrom, and our best closer is probably Jake deGrom as well. So like, we want Jake to pitch as much as possible. But at the same, and not only that, like he's got like, Hendrix's command, and like it's just like you just said, he's got a lane on the outside of the plate, 100, and he's just painting with 100 and painting with a 94-mile-an-hour slider the whole time, and he never stopped. Like I've been I'm trying to work on a little bit of video to explain this, because people ask me so much. I'm like, guys, like, what are you learning from Jake? I'm like, he just attention to detail, and he's got his 3 things that he does amazingly well, and he's okay. That's all he wants to do. Like, that's how he prepares. Like, there's nothing.
I got a question from a pitcher standpoint, Trevor, because I've been fortunate enough to like hang out with guys like Albert Pujols, Chipper's one of our hitting consultants, and I feel like those guys, like when they're that good, sometimes they're just like, because I asked Pujols one time, I'm like, how do I stay in my legs when I'm hitting? He was like, well, I really never had that problem. So I was just like, is it kind of one of those things where he's like, well, I just go out there and it's just, I pump it there and it's there. Or does he work pretty hard? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's going to be one of those guys. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Cause he's got a little bit of drop and drive, and he's got a low arm slot. So like, and ride, obviously.
Right.
But his ride is like, we got guys with higher ride, and like, I technically have a higher average, carry on my fastball than he does, but his arm slot's lower. So like, it just looks like it's literally going up because he's so low, but he's so tall. So he's tall and then low, and I'm tall and low, but I'm more high than he is low. So like, if I were to say, hey, Jake, how did you go from 95 to, he'll be like, I started to feel really good in my mechanics, and then it just happened, which is he is literally he's like a rubber band that's perfect, like that's being used perfectly. And I'm like, like muscle guy throwing, like, I'm like, like, and he's still throwing 5 miles an hour harder than me. So I have no context for him saying those things to me. But if someone said to me, like a guy with a shorter stride, for example, who threw hard, and they'd be like, hey man, how do you get so low in your legs? It's just naturally, I throw like Tom Seaver. I'm just like super old school low, and I'm tall, but I have a really low release point. And that, I didn't know that until like 2 years ago. But guys be like, how do you get your legs? I don't know. I've been doing this since I was 4. Right. Like, I don't know how you make that transition. So you would have to like reverse engineer it. Some guys just haven't thought enough about it to reverse engineer how they develop their mechanics.
Yeah, I was just like I said, I was curious. Those guys that are just that elite, sometimes they just,
and Jake's definitely like I just kind of aim for that spot,
and I paint it every time.
But he's Jeremy Hefner, our pitching coach, said it actually really well to me. Jake has an insane one of his hot skills that we can learn from is his intense attention to detail. So like, he knows, he's like, oh, that was a little bit. Yeah. That was a little bit. So in his pens, he's like, he's not okay until he's there, gets it there. So like that's a skill actually that some people get naturally, that sometimes guys just go through the motions and they don't realize and he never does. So that's one of the big reasons he's so good.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It's a great question, Austin, but I want to know how you got hooked up with Albert Pujols.
So same agent. I went out there in California, MVP at the time, and went out there and worked out like, I think it was 3 or 4 days, went through a whole workout program, played golf. It was a cool experience for sure.
How old were you?
But I was 24. I was 20.
Oh, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Wait a second. So you're 20 years old and hanging out with Albert Pujols? You're
That's
like,
right.
Hi, Mr.
Golf.
Pujols.
Yeah, right. It was cool, no doubt. But yeah, like I said, I was just curious to see, like I said, those guys are just so elite. It's just like, sometimes it's like when you go to ask them a question, they kind of stumble. You know what I mean? It's like, Pujols he's a great dude. Great dude.
That's fun. So you had the honor of having your first hit go over the wall. in the major leagues against Michael Wacha. Were you smiling around the bases on this one? Were you saying something to inside of your brain?
Yeah, no, I really wasn't feeling a whole lot of anything. It was just one of those things where, I kind of like, dang, it just happened. Because I struck out the first at bat, so I was just really trying to tell myself, hey, let's put a barrel on a ball. It doesn't matter if you get jammed. It doesn't matter if you hit it off the end. Let's just find the barrel. Let's just find the bat on the ball. Because like I said, I had a lot of adrenaline going, a lot of nerves. But having my parents and family there, that was awesome.
You know what else was awesome? You made it on one of Jomboy's breakdowns. Did you know this?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So Jimmy actually did a breakdown on it. So give a listen to this. This is fun.
Next pitch is this four-seam fastball that he just fucking smokes into left field. And how about the catch this little kid makes? Are you kidding me? Out on the steps, full extension, in the air, catches it, holds on to the snow cone. Sign that kid up for all the awards. What the hell? Back to the real hero, though. Oh, no, yeah. Let's watch it again. I forgot I set this up like this. Boom. Give that kid a trophy. This is his dad's reaction, which is pretty fun. It's funny that he was getting a beer in the back row and not like sitting down anywhere. He said, hey, you want to see your son's home run? Here's a video of it. Okay, let's take another look. Absolutely smokes the high fastball. Let's see a side angle. Here it is. Nice. That's pretty. That's a pretty swing. Oh, yeah, he crushed it. That's my boy. Oh, it was a bomb. Oh, yeah.
That's funny. That's good stuff.
I
actually got to meet the little kid after. So, because it was, like I said, the first one. So he came down after the clubhouse. I think I signed a bat for him to get that ball. So it was cool. Nice catch.
Where's the ball?
At my parents' house. Mom will not let it leave there. So I think that one will stay at her house for forever. So which is fine.
Trev, do you have any mementos? Anything like lying around the first strikeout?
I had my first strikeout ball of Robbie Grossman. I love to hang that over his head as much as humanly possible. Looking, which he doesn't do much. No, but I have 6 balls for my debut. I'm pretty sure they were all balls because I pretty much threw 80% balls that day. They had to be walks. So like, yeah, your homer. I walked 7 in 2 innings. So that was a tough day. But again, I was pretty numb as well. I do have my 300th strikeout, which was cool. Rocco Baldelli is really like every little thing that could even be remotely a milestone. He gets the balls for you, which is pretty cool. I got various save balls that I wrote down what happened, and I'll have a little bit of a little baseball shrine when I'm done, I think. But I haven't done enough cool stuff yet, so we'll keep it. I'm waiting for that 500th. I'm getting pretty close to 500 strikeouts. So
you're bad.
When that happens, I think that'll be pretty cool.
I hope it's not against me.
It's lining up. It might be pretty close.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
I'll let you know too. I'll be like, 500.
Please. I would love
All right.
that.
So something that's been fun this year are the home run celebrations. You guys have a great one in Atlanta with the panda head.
Yeah.
Have you put that thing on yet?
No, I don't think I will, because he likes to sweat, and putting that thing on would be probably a little greasy in there. But no, that's the coolest thing. That he's such a good dude around the clubhouse, great guy to have in a clubhouse, just because, like I said, he keeps the tension light, especially when, with us right now, we're kind of, hitting the bumps a lot. So just having him when things are going good, getting a hug, it's pretty cool.
Other guys do put that thing on, right? Or is it just
I think
his?
I saw Ronnie may have put it on one time, but he has it in a little bag where only he's supposed to touch it. He's territorial about it, but it's all good. That and Heredia has his, I don't know if you've seen the swords.
Yeah.
Instead of, we sword it now. So he's got a couple pink swords he pulls out. We try to keep it light. Like I said, with the struggles going on right now, you got to try to find a way to keep the tension light for sure.
Yeah, I get it. Now, when you were coming out of high school, you were actually a really good two-way player. You were a pitcher, and in the Under Armour game, not everybody can strike out a starting quarterback in the NFL, but you punched somebody out. You got Kyler Murray, dude.
Yeah, really?
What do you mean, dude? Did I really?
To be honest, those were my bad days. That's when I was overweight. I was chunk. I was huge. So I don't like to look at those pictures. Plus, I absolutely hated pitching. Like hated it. My arm always hurt. I don't know how guys pitch. Like I always talk to pitchers. I'm like, bro, I don't know how you freaking do it. I'm like, because in high school, and I didn't even throw that much, but these guys throw every day, and it's just like, bro, how do you do it with your wing?
What is that?
Like,
what are those unis made of? Plastic?
They were rough.
Oh my god.
Those were the good old days. Gosh. But yeah, no, everybody. I think I want to say it was the Braves and maybe the Cubs were the only people that wanted me as a position player. Like only 2 teams, and then everybody else wanted me as an arm. But like a week before the draft, I told Matt Hannaford, my agent now, my advisor then, I was like, this pitching ain't for me. I'm gonna back out of the draft as a pitcher and just go in as a position player. If not, nothing happens, I'll just go to Mississippi State. And lucked up, Braves picked me up.
Oh my God. What the heck does your agent say when you basically, if there's only 2 teams that are interested in you as a position player, and you're like, dude, hold on here just a second.
He was, he was like, he kind of was like, do you want to think about it? I was like, to me, it was just like a gut feeling because I was like, if I would have gone as a pitcher now, I would be working somewhere else 100% because I just don't think my arm could have taken it at all. It was like I didn't enjoy it. Like I said, I really didn't. But hey, take a chance, roll the dice, and it's all worked out.
Hey, can we get pitching coach May in on the video? Robbie, bring up some of that video again. What'd you see in Austin's delivery?
I was gonna say, like you were probably throwing cheese because everyone wanted you, but it doesn't like easy. I mean, that might not have been very hard, but but you had a little bit of velo, didn't you?
Yeah, I was, low to mid 90s.
I mean,
the curve. I spiked a curveball, and I had a little slider.
Like that's not a violent delivery right there. I mean, I don't know if you're warming up, maybe, but if you could throw low to mid 90s, you know what they're saying, like we could get this kid to throw 100. And then who knows? Maybe he'll be in the bullpen in 4 months in the big leagues. That's kind of the way we think now, huh?
Right, 100%. Funny thing is when I got drafted as a position player, I went to Orlando, started GCL. I was 0 for like 24 with like 15 Ks before I got my first hit. People were like tweeting at me. It was like, he's going to be a pitcher by September. It was, I was like thinking like I just made the worst mistake, but no, it was good.
Oh, yeah. Going down to GCL and having to see Twitter, like Twitter, it had existed for 6 months when I was drafted.
Yeah. It just, you got introduced to the guys on Twitter for sure.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe you didn't remember punching out Kyler Murray.
I did not. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Just a Tuesday for this guy, man. All right.
Well, come on. I would be like, yeah, I just punched out the #1 pick in the draft.
I just, like I said, I don't remember. The only thing I remember about that perfect game, the Under Armour, was I actually got to hit. They let me hit one time, and I struck out against a buddy of mine, Gray Finner. I played summer ball with him, so that's really about the only thing I remember from that thing.
Oh man, so I'm bringing up some bad.
I mean, that was in Wrigley too. I mean, I feel like you'd really remember that,
Not bad. So by the time this show comes out, the College World Series will be completed. But I think we would be remiss if we didn't bring it up because you were going to go to Mississippi State had you gone to college and not been picked in the first round by the Braves. But remind everybody who the guy, where the guy to your left went to school.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Vanderbilt. I told him, we can't be friends for the next couple of days, but he understood completely, and he's honestly probably more into it than I am. I feel like he's the golden child of Vanderbilt. So he's super into it, but I think it's going to be a good matchup. We got some good pitchers. They, obviously they got the 2 studs on their team on the bump. So, I think it's going to come down to who could pull out the offense.
So, like, Will you go nuts if Mississippi State ends up winning this thing?
No, I won't. I care, but at the same time, like my wife went to Mississippi State. She cheered there. She's like a diehard. So I give her crap all the time. I'm like, yeah, I really kind of want Ole Miss to win today. Just messing with her. She gets fired up. But no, they've never won a national championship. So it'd be my cousin, actually, Cameron James. He's at their basement there right now. So I'm pulling for him for sure.
Nice. Trev, where were you going to go if you hadn't been drafted?
Pac-12 Legends, University of Washington. Yeah, and I don't think they've been good for a while, but they made the College World Series. I think 1 year I would have been there, so I could have helped that. But
yeah,
but you
would have been the Friday guy, dude.
They had a new head coach coming in. Would have been my freshman year. It's hilarious because he's still there, and I met him. I saw him. I've met him like several times, but he's introduced himself to me every time. And the fourth time, he's like, "Hey, I was throwing with Carter Capps. Carter Capps lives up in Seattle. And if you remember Carter, threw 107. He was like, "Hey, have you met Lindsay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we've met." And he's like, "Oh, what's your name again?" I'm like, "Trevor May. I would have been your Friday night guy in 2009 when he took the job." I know I'm not from California, but you would have had to give me a chance because I would have been your best guy. Trust me. Me and Andrew Kittredge, actually, from the Rays, would have been there at the same time. But I love listening to the SEC guys talk about the. I play with Pete Alonso, man. He is go Gators as it gets. So I love. He's got a nickname for every guy he played against. Benintendi, Benny Biceps, just like Bobby Dahlbeck, Bobby Blue Eyes. So he's got a nickname for every guy who played in the conference. And he's like, yeah, I got to be honest, bro. It's pretty universal. Like every team, any guy who comes from any team, like we all just like it's like a big SEC fraternity, which is awesome. It kind of makes me think I missed out a little bit playing college baseball, but at the same time, like I joke, my sister went to Washington State, and Washington State hate each other, and I always say we when I talk about Washington. She's like, "You didn't even go there." I'm like, I skipped that step, Aaron.
Yeah, that's what I get from Dansby. He's like, "You didn't even go there." I'm like, well, still my team.
You know, I didn't have to, Dansby.
Right.
Hit him with one of those.
You had to go grind in college.
Yeah.
Take chemistry over.
In reality, he just skipped GCL and short season. And actually
high.
Didn't he go straight to AA?
Get drafted in 15, make your debut at 16. So I mean, he didn't have a bad little route.
Yeah, no, it worked out for him.
I guess he did okay. I guess. All right, before we let you go, Austin, we're going to spin the wheel of moderately interesting things. You guys both get to answer the question. And today, I love this one. Did you tell? So I need you guys to tell me why you wear the number that you wear. Austin, you can go first.
27. All right, so I feel like I got a really good one. So I grew up, my dad was number 13. I was 13 all through the minor leagues. And there's some guy named Ronald Acuna, when he got called up, was 13. So when I got called up, they asked me, and they were like, well, 13's not available. I was like, whatever, whoever that guy is. So 27, that was the next kind of lowest number available. So that's what I went with and stuck with it. But yeah, Ronald's took my number. I think his jersey sells too much to switch now.
You're not buying that one off of him. He's good.
Shot.
That's expensive, 100%. 65. So it's my rookie number. I had it first day showing up at Twins big league camp in 13. I had 65, and I was like, I'm 6'5", 65. That kind of makes sense all the way through the minors. So I was the biggest guy on the team, not maybe the tallest, but like I was just the biggest hulking person. So I just got the highest number on every team I was on. So I never got the number I wanted. I was always like 56, 55, 54. I wanted 51 because of Ichiro and Randy Johnson in Seattle. So and when I got up, someone had it, and I can't even remember who it was. It was a veteran guy. And then it just kept getting someone new would sign who was a veteran guy and would get 51. So I just kept sticking with 65. And then I think my sophomore year, I started against James Paxton in Seattle, and his number was 65. And we're the first time in the history of baseball, two number 65s started a game against each other because they're so high. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool.
Keeping it.
I'll stick with it. Like I got asked to change a couple years, and I was like, no, you know what? I don't have an affinity. Like the 7 was my number. I mean, obviously Joe Mauer. So, and every multiple of 7 was taken. And then I was like, maybe 54. Irvin Santana signed, and then right after Irvin left, Sergio Romo came over, 54. So I'm like, I'm not getting 54. I think the stars are just going to align here on 65, and no one's ever going to want it. So I'll always have it. So when I came over to the Mets, Robert Gesellman had it, and I'll never forget. I texted him, hey, bro, like, you think I could get 65? He's like, oh my God, please take this devil number. He goes, hey, do you think you could ask the clubhouse guys if I could have 44? I'm like, yeah. So I just go, hey, can Robert have 44? He's like, yeah, it's open. I'm like, all right. Yeah, you got 44. He's like, thanks, man. That's it. He just gave it. He was like, please get this away from me. I hate this stupid number. Because he's like, I feel like a rookie every year. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna stick with 65. So everyone's wondering why the hell I'm still 65 over here. But I'm one of those guys, man. It doesn't have to be like a cool historic number. I think you create a new historic number. It'd be cool to have a 65 retired. It's not going to be, but it would have been cool to think about it.
Hey, that's better than Ronald Acuna stole my 13.
Right. What the heck?
Maybe.
That's good though. Hey, Austin, thanks for hanging out today, man. I appreciate it. I think it's fun when guys who are going to be facing each other 19 times a year over the next few seasons get a chance to chop it up.
Yeah, tomorrow. He could easily strike me out tomorrow. It could happen as soon as tomorrow. So take it easy on me, Trevor.
I will not.
Get out there.
I absolutely will not do that. I'm trying to continue to pitch on a big league field.
Love that.
Can just if something goes well for you, Austin, or if something goes well for you, Trevor, I just want the guy that's more disappointed in this relationship to flip the other guy off on camera.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Content. We're trying to grow baseball, right? That's the whole job. That's the whole thing behind everything right now. We're just trying to grow the game.
Grow the game, make it fun.
Make it fun. Let the kids play.
All right.
Flip each other off, kids.
Austin, continued success, man. Tell all the guys on the Braves you say hello. Thank you.
I will. I appreciate it, Chris. Appreciate it, Trevor.
Thanks, bud.
All right. So was it fun or a little weird to go chop it up with a guy who's in your division?
No, it's great. I think it's fun to know guys personally on the other teams, but I'll turn it off and on when you're playing them. I love that. I think that some of the more fun, making baseball fun moments are when you actually know a guy and so they get you or you get them, and it makes it a little bit easier a little bit less like, oh God, the world's falling when bad stuff happens. So, it's pretty, he's a cool guy, laid back. I didn't know where he's from. I didn't know much about him actually before the show. So, Southern boy, good. SEC. I love it. Those guys that come from that area are some of my favorite teammates. Loopy and McCann and Pete. Like, it's just, they have different experiences I had growing up, but playing baseball. But it's always fun because everyone knows each other. Everyone that plays in just the Southeast at all, like those 4 years, either way in their age group, they know every baseball player because there's so much baseball happening. So it's always cool to hear all their stories. So it was great to meet him.
McCann's an amazing one because he's a Southern California guy, and he went all the way to the University of Arkansas.
I only know 2 guys that transplants that did that, him and Shania Martin. Shania Martin's from SoCal and went to Florida State. But those 2 stayed. They went down there like, nah, this is for me. This is where I want to be. I want to stay down here. So
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I could have seen Trevor May make the move from the Pacific Northwest to the South.
Too hot.
And
even though it's 110 in the Pacific Northwest right now.
With all due respect to our listeners now in the South, wonderful people. I lived in Atlanta for 3 years, so don't take this the wrong way. I'm not so sure everybody would have gotten your sensibility.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit different. I'm a Northwest guy. I'm a West Coast guy. I love the West Coast. That's nothing to do. It's just to each their cup of tea, right? They would say the same thing, right? They would say the same thing. Same thing as, what kind of smoked meat do you like, right? What kind of barbecue do you like? Everyone likes different stuff. So,
great call. All right. Before we let you go, I was remiss. I think the last time we had an episode, I did not give you a homework assignment. I think it was because you were battling an illness. I felt bad. I was like, I got to get this guy some rest.
Yeah.
So,
dang it.
we do have a homework assignment.
Okay.
Squeeze the Rose rotation into one of your vlogs. How do we figure? Easy. Oh, okay.
Oh,
good.
Damn it. I could have recording that. We could have vlogception this a little bit. But yeah, I can get it in there. I can get it in there. Maybe if you should get me to record something as a request for the Rose rotation. So that way I can plug the Rose rotation, talk about it a little bit, and then do the thing. Even if it's something little, something minor. Like, so you want me to like get video of a sign in a park or something, like something little, where then I can use it as an opportunity.
So you're going back to Atlanta this week.
Mm-hmm. I have the camera. Always have it.
Yeah, I know. What do we do there in Atlanta other than sweat profusely?
Another really unique opportunity is we are playing the Yankees in Yankee Stadium on 4th of July.
Oh my gosh.
This weekend. So
I gotta
take the camera. I gotta take the camera to Yankee Stadium. 100%.
How excited are I know that for baseball players, like every day is the same. Are you looking forward to Mets Yankees Subway Series because it is so different?
This is going to be, especially this year, like, because they notoriously have the offense they have, or the bombers they have, and we have the pitching, and it's just going to be, it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're both pretty good, so it hasn't always been like this. I think it'll be, man, our fan bases. It's so funny that they hate each other so much, but they're exactly the same. Like they're like they love their team the same way. And they're like, no, we are different. And I'm like, as someone looking at you both yell at each other, I need you to know how similar you are.
By the way, every Yankee and
they're
Mets
all going to hate me. Both of them are going to hate me now. Yeah.
Yes,
Me take it in the best way possible. Like, just the passion, man. I mean, I played a division series for the Twins against the Yankees. That place was crazy. The other day when we walked off the Phillies at home, that's what it was. So I was like, I cannot imagine what the mix of fans are going to be and how it's going to be, not only for this series, but we play on September 11th in City. So two huge historic kind of times for our country, obviously, and for baseball in the past. So it's going to be, I'm so excited to be part of those days. I hope we get a throw in both big games.
Well, I wish you luck with that. I guess I'll see you at some point after the All-Star break. Any plans? Any good plans?
Oh, I just purchased a house.
Pardon me?
In Seattle. We just bought a house in this market in Seattle, which was a nightmare. In an awesome place called Mercer Island.
Oh yeah.
Just outside of Bellevue. And so my wife would like me to fly home and move over the All-Star break. And
so much for that relaxing vacation.
Literally anything else. Anything. I'll do anything else. And it's supposed to be so hot. But it's a new house and it's pretty awesome. And I want to start designing my studio. So I haven't bought I might take a day as a buffer and go out there for 2 days and get moved in. And just take a day to my own in New York. We don't know yet, but nothing crazy planned. Obviously, like, me, man, I'm busy as hell. There's no time for fun. We can do that in December.
Well, congratulations on the new house.
Thank you very much.
That is fantastic. Where does the painting of the Rose rotation go in the studio?
The painting of the Rose? There's tons and tons of wall space. It's a big studio, so we should get caricatures done of all of us standing together.
That'd be great.
Now, that's very baseball-y too, right? Let's do that. See if we can do it.
Thanks again for hanging out. I know that you're busy. I know you have a 24-hour layover in DC before moving to Atlanta, but it's always fun catching up with you and getting your thoughts on what's going on in our crazy little baseball world.
Likewise.
Special shout out, as always, to our editor extraordinaire, Robbie Scirocco, our summer intern, Alden Stone, who's crushing it as always. For Trevor May, I'm Chris Rose. We'll see you next time on the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of Jomboy Media.